thought Big Sky Race Week was in the summer. What the heck is all this white stuff out here? Oh, man. Welcome to Montana. I did have to lay under this thing and change a starter in the 20 degrees in the snow today. That was fun. Anyways, welcome back to the Montana garage. It's been like 5 months. Big Sky Race Week was in the summer. It is now November. And I have been absent from YouTube all that time. I have my reasons though. All right, first of all, before we get to the footage of Big Sky Race Week, I want to say thank you to everybody that's checked on me, sent the comments and the emails, asking if I'm okay and wondering where I've been. And I've been working. Brief little backstory here is this time last year I had shoulder surgery on my right shoulder. That meant I couldn't work for 4 months. And so for 4 months, I basically didn't do much of anything because my shoulder didn't work. I mean, I did what I could do, but I didn't do much out here in the shop. I didn't go to work. I didn't collect any paychecks. I didn't make any money. So when 4 months came around, it was supposed to be 3 months, and then the doctor delayed it a little bit. And then I had a job lined up, and then it wasn't ready. And then I took on another job. And anyways, I don't know if anybody else is in construction, but scheduling is a nightmare. I just went from nothing to do to everything to do all at once. Maybe as I'm rambling on here, I'll flip through a brief little slideshow of some of the work I've been doing. I'm a tile guy, so you can check out some of that stuff while I'm talking here. But I just got too busy with work, and I don't know how the other YouTube guys do it, because I can't make time to get out here. And I try to make time to get in here and do the stuff I can do in the shop, but then I have, once again, I have all kinds of like backed up footage of the stuff I did to the car since you guys saw it last. It's got new glass, it's got painted door jambs and weather stripping, and I videotaped most of that stuff, but I never made time to show it to you guys because I was scrambling to get ready for race week. And then, well, I did that, and you're about to see what happened there. And then I got back, and I almost actually didn't go to Big Sky Race Week because I was so behind with work. I knew I was going to be, just piled up when I got back. But I guess that's one good thing about working for yourself, is you can kind of make these decisions. So I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go. I've been planning on going. I'm just going to do it, and I'll worry about work when I get back. Well, I got back, and worry about work is what I did. And all I did for like 5 months is work. I mean, it's been a little better here the last few weeks, but I don't know how many days in a row without, I think in July, I took like July 4th off, and that was it. And I worked until like almost the end of August before I took a day off. Anyways, everybody else, wham, my sob story. But anyways, that's why I haven't been out here. That's why I've still done, this thing pretty much is how it was at Race Week. I've been driving it, well, until the white stuff came. So it's working. I've been driving it. I've spent the little bit of time I have out here trying to get this thing working, and I can't get it to work with that mechanical injection. Something's going on that I can't figure out. Maybe I'll make another video about that here in the future. But this is supposed to be about Big Sky Race Week, so let's get to the footage. And I'm going to show you some footage. I might break in and talk about it a little bit, because I was not the best. I'm not the best YouTuber in general, and I was the worst Race Week YouTuber, and you'll see why. But I did what I could do for a little bit, and then anyways, you'll just watch the video. I'll come back and explain what I have to explain, and hopefully we can move on from here and get this whole YouTube thing going again. And if more than 3 people watch this, I'll try to make another video soon. And here we go, no more screwing around. Big Sky Race Week starts right now. A journey of 1,300 miles starts today, leaving my house here at the Montana garage. First stop, Billings, Montana for Yellowstone drag strip. 150-ish miles away. Car is very untested. I've driven it locally quite a bit, but never too far, never much with the trailer, obviously. So she's untested, and I'm a little nervous. I'm meeting up with 4 or 5 other guys at a truck stop here in town, like right now, and convoying. I think I've done what I need to do, and I think we're gonna make it. So let's get in the car and get out here, huh? Here we go. Oh crap, I got a trailer to back up. Good thing I kind of know how to do that. Well, first problem, trunk popped open. Hopefully I just didn't have it shut all the way. Didn't even make it out of the driveway. Dang it. Gave her a good slam. Hopefully that cures that problem. Let's go racing. And we're off. Just met with the crew at the gas station. Heading to Billings. guy's towing his Camaro. So those guys can all drive probably 80 miles an hour. I gotta go about 65. But they say they're gonna wait for me. We're just here to have fun. So hopefully we don't spend too much time broke down or fixing stuff. And we're cruising. I gotta pass somebody on the interstate. Alright, just like that, we've now gone further than we've ever gone away from home. Just passing Bozeman here, that's the furthest I've gone. Got about 150 miles to go to the track. So far, all is good. 10 miles in. Not saying much, I know. Alright, we're about an hour in. We're almost to a little town called Big Timber, which is about 70 miles or something. I'm trying to go about 65 miles an hour. All good so far. My only complaint is I feel like I got this thing car sealed up pretty good. And the exhaust is going on the back, but I'm still getting like an exhaust smell in here. It ain't so bad if I got the old wing window shooting fresh air right in my face. But otherwise, it gets a little exhausting here. Still doing that a little bit. I put the trunk weather stripping on. I thought maybe that was the last little piece of the puzzle, but I don't know where it's coming in, but I need to do something about that. By golly, we made it! Yellowstone drag strip, stop number 1. No issues on the trip. Gotta go figure out where to go for tech and how to get checked in. My dad, he got here at the same time. He just had me right behind me. So when I pulled over to change the camera batteries, he pulled over and stopped. And I think the rest of my crew is just right around the corner. So. Alright, so we made it to Billings, Yellowstone drag strip, day 1, day 0, I guess technically, because it's just, they didn't have any test and tune, but it was tech inspection, check in, get your sticker, that sort of stuff. So I'm in line for tech. I got the Baremetal 55, I got my trailer hooked up, hopefully you saw that in the video a little bit somewhere, and I wait my turn, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here at Big Sky Race Week or at Yellowstone drag strip, and I'm not a drag racer. I'm new to this drag racing thing, so I haven't been through, like one time I went through a tech for drag racing, and that was like in 1990 in this same thing, and it was just like a street class, and all they made me do was, I didn't even have seatbelts, I don't think. All they made me do was put an overflow bottle on it. Anyway, so for tech at that race week, I crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's, and I thought I had everything I needed to do to make this thing legal for like 10 seconds in the quarter, and I don't know what that equals in the eighth, but I knew I wasn't that fast anyways, but I did all the stuff, so I thought they would check it. They didn't check too much. I mean, they did what they had to do. They checked my lights, made sure I had a helmet that wasn't expired. You know, they looked and like, okay, you got a roll bar. But like, I moved the fill pressure regulator because it was in the wrong spot. I redid my drive shaft loop. I got the scatter shield. I got the battery mounted how it's supposed to be with the frame. And I got the shut off switch so it shuts the car off right. I got all the stuff that I think you're supposed to have. They didn't really look at much of that, but I mean, it's good. You got to have it, safety first. So I would recommend you have all the stuff you're supposed to have for your speed you're going. But I think trying to kind of move things along And I also had kind of like the main guy got busy and they had some other guy kind of hop in, and I didn't get checked too thoroughly, but that's all right. So they checked everything that they did check, and then they wrote down like on my little tech card how fast I could go. Turns out if they would have known how fast this car really is, they probably would have put a little asterisk with an exception on my tech card that said that I was allowed to drink beer and text while racing, because this thing ain't fast enough to hurt anybody. All right, Big Sky Race Week day one. I haven't filmed much, been hanging out with the guys, getting the car ready. But it's time for the first pass, so we're fixing to see what happens. Got the headers uncorked. Done a couple practice launches, and they're not going too great. I don't really have enough power to spin these big slicks I put on this thing, so I'm kind of dead hooked. I cranked up the RPMs a little bit, and we'll see what happens when we try it on the line. I think it's probably going to dead hook and bog. But we'll find out. All right, so I'm pulling up for my first pass ever, well, since 1990. And I got to tell you, I'm a little nervous. I don't know if you can see it in the footage here, but I thought I was going to have a lot of time. Like, there's a bunch of cars in line, and I went over there, and then I realized that the lanes I was in were going pretty fast, and so I'm struggling to try to get my harness on, and I didn't get it kind of set up beforehand, so I got half the harness on, and I'm trying to move the other harness, slide it over so it's in the right spot. I can't get that figured out. Then I finally get that figured out. Helmet on, and it's hotter than heck in the car, and I can't figure out how to open the visor. I literally only put this helmet on like one time, and I got the visor down, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to get the visor to open. So I'm struggling with that, and I still can't get the harness. Man, I am nervous. And then I have my window down, I think, and the guys tell me to roll my window up. Anyways, I got through all that, and here we go. All right, getting ready to figure this out for the first time. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. a disaster. Well, at least I know what happened. I had my finger on the lock. My front brakes were still locked up. I took off. I was like, why the hell did it do that? And I went down there and I did it again. I'm like, what the hell? Because I got to push the button, but then I let go of the button because the clutch holds it. So I was holding, I took off and I was like, my finger was still on the button as I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'm like, oh, you let go of the button, dumbass. From a 12.9 to an 8.45, 8.44. Well, this is embarrassing. At that second run, I looked at the wrong lane. I was in the right lane, car number 203, not car number 134 that got at 8.44. I thought that maybe seemed a little fast with how it went. 9.6. So yeah, a little slower than I said. So still got some work to do. Maybe it's a 8 in the 8s, hopefully. Probably 9s or I don't know. It's slow and it doesn't work right on the track and I don't know how to fix it, but we're here to have fun, so we'll go have some fun. Can you guys even see me? Nope. All right, we're gonna go try again. This thing's running like crap, or I can't get it to work. I'm gonna try without all my two-step and line lock because I think that's not releasing on time and screwing me up on the launch because it's just dying every line. Baremetal 55, she's getting weather tested today. We got some rain, so hopefully it doesn't turn into the rusty metal 55 in a couple days. I guess we'll find out. We are between Billings and Malta. Didn't want at the Billings track. Did not go great for me. As you saw in the video, the racing car just falls on its face. That was a little frustrating, but it's driving good. This part's going good. I got my trusted co-pilot, my crew chief, my dad, Robert Redface. Hey, Robert Redface.
How you doing?
He says he's from the Chipper Rock tribe. You'll probably see why later. Anyways, we're headed to Malta. We got like 100 miles to go. We got a little bit of rain. It's not real hot in here, but it's not real cold. We'll enjoy a little bit more Montana scenery. Hopefully tomorrow. I didn't film any of the races. I didn't watch any racing or film any of the cars. I was fighting for a car all day. So hopefully I get more footage of that stuff for you guys. Something, or hopefully I get the car working better. We'll keep trying. Everybody likes it. It looks cool, but I guess it just doesn't go. It's all show and no go so far. We'll see what happens from here. Grass Range, Montana, in between Billings and Malta tracks. Last gas for like 112 or 115 miles, so everybody's stopping here to fuel up. Cool cars here. It's not freezing, but it's been warmer. Back on the road. Man, we're out here in the mud. This is the real world now, boys and girls. At one of the checkpoints, Sand Creek Wildlife Station. We're trying to figure out where we're supposed to go from here. We're following Harold here. He'll figure it out. that Malta, Montana. She's a real car now, going through mud and dirt and potholes. Got the floor all gravelly and dirty. Gotta find a spot in the mud to park down here. Bunch of racers down here, go figure. All right, so I think I showed you most of day one, and it became a little frustrating for me because I don't know how many passes I made, but I could not get the car to make like a clean pass. Like it would always stumble, higher RPMs, it was stuttering and sputtering. We determined, I say we, I can understand, I'm not an expert at none of this stuff, I'm learning as I go. I mean, I know what I know a little bit, I know enough to get myself in trouble, is what I say. But I had guys with me that are like certified real life mechanics. That's what they do for a living. And they have race cars and they do this stuff. They were all helping me out. We couldn't get the car to work worth a dang, really, basically, to be honest with you. Mostly, we thought it was carburetor related. And this is another thing that I think maybe I had some footage in a previous video. I don't know if I did or not, but and one of the other things I did before race week is I was having some carburetor issues, and so I bought me a fancy new carburetor. And you guys watch Old Man's Garage? I do. That's a good YouTube channel, I think. And he swears by these ATM carburetors. So I bought one. Junk. No, I'm not. That's not true, probably. It's a beautiful piece. It's awesome looking. I can't make it work, not on my car. I changed the jets a million times. We got power valve action. We took all the little air bleeds out and blew everything out to make sure something wasn't plugged. At first, I went leaner because it seemed like it was too rich, but then you read the plugs and it was almost like it was too lean. And so we kept adding more, going up and trying to make it richer and richer and richer. No matter how far we went, way beyond the scope of where it should be as far as the jetting, it didn't really make any difference. And it still seemed like it was lean. And then somebody else told me, go back, you're way too rich, go back the other way. So we went way farther the other way. And then, I don't know, some of them made a little difference, but the only real change we made to the carburetor that really helped, if you look, there's 4 of these bolts right here, one in each corner. I took those off and I took that piece of crap off and I put somebody else's carburetor on there, and then it worked a lot better. Still not great, but better. I still have, as you see, that's my brother-in-law's borrowed carburetor. I spent one afternoon since I got back and I put this back on and I've tried again to make it work. I went through a bunch of different, I can't make it work. My intentions were to call ATM and talk to them. And again, I've been so busy with work when I got back, I haven't done that. So I'm gonna still try to call them and see if they have any advice or anything I can do to try to make that thing work. Run number 2 at Malta. First one sucked like the rest of them. I'm on my street tires now instead of my slicks because I don't think this little small block has enough power for those things. Apparently. I got some sort of bog issue I can't get figured out. Made a few more changes. See what happens. But it's still freaking bogged. I didn't see the time. Time don't matter at this point. I'm just trying to get the damn car figured out. Well, it seems so much better. The last one was a 10 on this, 10 on 3. Not even better. So racing wise, the race week was kind of a bust. I mean, I learned some stuff, I got some experience, but the cars, I already knew it was slow, like I said, but it was just super slow, almost embarrassingly slow. And then it was frustrating because I couldn't make it any better because I know it should be better. But the driving part was cool. My dad was with me, and again, I'm such a bad YouTuber, I didn't really even, introduce you guys to my dad or have him on here too much. He does, there's one little thing where he talks a little bit and he gets to drive the car here at the end. You might see that you know, we had a great time with the driving part and the camaraderie with the guys at the, you know, the places we stayed and the little breakdowns along the way. That was all cool, but I didn't film any of it because I was mad the whole time. I wasn't mad the whole time. I was just frustrated. I think I was, you know, I was not mad the whole time, but I was frustrated. Then I kind of gave up on the YouTube. So issues on the drive, day 2, pulling a hill, coming out of the Missouri River brakes, just a long, steady grind. It started popping and sputtering. It had actually, I can't remember if it died or it just lost power and I had to pull off to the side of the road. It had backfired and I blew the little vacuum caps off, and so then it had a huge vacuum leak and I didn't have any more of those, and so I'll try to put a picture in here. My dad went over to the ditch and he whittled out a stick and stuck it in. That's what we stuck in there to plug the vacuum hole. All right, so we've now made it to day 3, race day 3. Yes, we're in Lewistown, Montana. I think I only made one pass that day because once again, it turned into, we all got to the track in the morning. I think I had to go to like O'Reilly's first thing and buy like a vacuum cap kit because like I told you, we lost the vacuum cap. And then people came to the track, we met at the track, and then the other guys were helping me like, well, let's try this, take your car back off, adjust this, whatever, change the jets 35,000 times. One of the guys was going out on the road with me, going for a drive, and like, yeah, it's just terrible. Like he's like, wow, this is way worse than it seemed like it is. So we made a few more changes. I think I only made one pass that day. It was not great. I don't think I even have footage of it for you guys. And then made a few more changes. I think I was gonna try to go again, but we got some rain coming in, and then like here's a couple pictures of the car sitting in the rain and the Baremetal. Still no rust on that bad boy, so the shark hide's doing his job. Yeah, then we ended up just having to kind of pull out because they called it, I think because of the rain. The track got too wet and it wasn't gonna dry in time, so they let everybody know that races were done and you can move on. So then we had to drive from Lewistown to Anaconda, and that was, I don't know how many miles it is, but I think that was the longest leg of the journey. We hit some rain a few times. We had a checkpoint, went through Great Falls, had a checkpoint. Everybody did their little trailer burnouts. This piece of crap over here wouldn't even do a burnout with the trailer on it. So that was, again, kind of embarrassing. I started kind of leading the way of our pack of guys because we were kind of more in our neck of the woods. So here we are going through some pretty cool canyon lands along the Missouri River. This is between Great Falls and Helena, Montana. Got to Helena, had some grub, and then we had to climb a mountain pass, McDonald Pass, I think it's called. And like I said, for the most part, even climbing the mountain passes, the car, you know, at the 3,000 RPM and just not really giving it the onion, it would run fine. It was just upper RPM stuff and on the track that I couldn't get it to like work. So the driving part was great. Our whole group was limited by me because 60, 65 is how fast my car kind of wants to go. Even with the overdrive, with the low gears, that's kind of where I think I was around 3,000 RPM at 60 miles an hour, even in overdrive. So, I mean, I could push it a little faster, you know, we'd go up to like 65, but that's about as far as it wanted to go. And normally, if you're going from point A to point B and it's like 300 miles, and you got to go 65 miles an hour anymore, that would drive me nuts. You know, I'm used to being in my, you know, my new pickup truck or whatever, modern pickup truck. You drive like 80, 85 or whatever you can get away with. 65 just seems like so slow. But just hanging out in the 55, my dad's in there. And it became more about this kind of sounds silly maybe, but more about the journey than the destination. Like you just enjoying the scenery and, you know, we didn't have no radio. You're just watching the world go by at 65 and it was awesome. Next day racing in Anaconda. This is the day in Anaconda is where I finally had a chance. Harold, the guy with the 57 that, again, I did a bad job, so I didn't really show you guys any of these the other cars and other stuff. But Harold, he had a 57 four-door wagon, and he was a little bit faster than me. And he was, I think he was in a class where he had to try to hit a certain time, and he kept going too fast. The Lewistown day where he was trying to go again because he'd gone too fast, then they called it from rain. So at that point, he kind of lost his chance to win his class because he went too fast, and then he got to turn in like a 20-second time slip or something. So anyways, in Anaconda, he made his pass, and then I think maybe he only made one because, like I said, he was kind of done with the racing part. Oh, I've been looking for this screw. Sorry, I'm easily distracted. Put that over here so I can put it back in the little thing it goes in. Anyways, I put his carburetor on the car. I've not been able to get this thing work all week, and that was easily the best pass I've done. And the only carburetor adjustment we've made that makes any difference is taking my damn carburetor out and putting somebody else's carburetor on. So that was still not perfect. This carburetor is too big. It's not jetted properly, but it was just to see if the problem was indeed my carburetor, and it is indeed my carburetor. So we've been chasing that thing all freaking week. This is day 4 and I haven't made a decent pass. The thing would hardly spin the tires, fall on its face, so it's definitely way better with a different carburetor. So I don't know what the deal is with that carburetor. We're not smart enough to make it work, or there's something wrong with it, but I'm definitely going to have to get something different.
The guy said it's still bog.
What?
I said, I thought it was better. He said he thought it's still bog.
I think it was way better. It's still, it was way better off the line. It's still surged, but it's not jetted right for me. You know, it's jetted for Harold's engine.
Yeah.
But it was way better.
Yeah,
I don't know what my,
that's what
I can't
I said.
see that. Can you see what my time says? The slower one, 203 left lane.
Brad Morgan, 989, 72 mile an hour.
And the car ran way better. So again, I just think that with the smart guys I had there, all the things we did and the fact that we just couldn't make this thing work, like there's something wrong with it. It's brand new, so it probably isn't, but we couldn't make it work. So I put his carb on, made a better pass, still slow, but at least it didn't stumble and sputter and everything. Then I had to put that carburetor back on, and then just as we were leaving, my brother-in-law's, he had some friends show up, and they brought this carburetor that I have on there now from his house. So I've been, I borrowed that 6 months ago or whenever, 5 months ago, and I still haven't gotten it back. Sorry, Justin. I'll get that back to you eventually. And then, yeah, so then we had to head out from Anaconda back to Billings. On the Anaconda back to Billings trip, we did have a little bit of trouble. You got to pull a big hill coming out of Butte, Montana called Homestake Pass, is it? I think it's either Homestake or Pipestone. One's the interstate and one's the side thing. I think it's called Homestake Pass. Anyways, you don't care. It's a pretty big hill, and it kind of started coughing and sputtering and getting kind of hot, and I was almost at the verge of stopping. We were almost to the top, but we made it over the top. And then, of course, it was fine going back down. It cooled back off, and we pulled off the interstate at this little town called Cardwell, where we had to get off the interstate and take the little side roads. Well, I guess at that point, I just kind of looked everything over, and, you know, we talked about it, but we didn't make any changes. And so the thing about this part of the trip from Anaconda back to Billings is we had to go right by my house here in Belgrade, Montana. One of the checkpoints was in Bozeman, which is like 10 miles away. And so we elected, me and my dad elected to stay, just come to the house, stay the night at the house that night, and then, you know, make the rest of the journey to Billings in the morning. And when I did that, I took the opportunity to come in the shop here, and I pulled the fuel filter apart to make sure there wasn't something plugging up in there. It looked all good. And the other thing I did, and we had been pulling random plugs along the way, looking at them to try to read the plugs for the carb issues or whatever, but I hadn't taken all the plugs out. So I had a new set of plugs. So we pulled all the plugs and probably saved them. I don't know where they are. Hopefully I'll throw a picture in right here. 2 of the plugs looked like this with the tips totally burned off of them. So that explains the trouble I was having going over the hill. I mean, it was basically running on 5 cylinders. I don't think it was like that all the time. I think that happened in Anaconda is when I switched from So I had a new carb guy, guru, come along and tell me to try something, and we went way, way leaner. And I think I probably went too lean and, you know, burned those tips off those two plugs. I think it was number 2 and number 5 cylinders, if I remember right. Anyway, so I got a chance to put the new plugs in. And of course, then it ran a lot better again, but still, you know, still just slow. But I had high hopes that I was going to have better passes the last day once we made it to Billings to finish this thing off. So the highlight of the journey from home to Billings for the last day to me was I had offered to let my dad drive a couple times, and he just didn't want to, or he just, you know, you're driving, it's your thing, you're driving. Well, maybe a lot of you guys don't know, but this car used to be his car. I talked it out of him when I was in high school. And so he has a 57 right now, but it doesn't run. So it's been a while since he drove himself a Tri-5 Chevy. So I finally talked him into driving the last few miles into the track. So maybe I got a couple of pictures or some footage of that. Driving 55 Chevy.
Help me out, man. This ain't no easy. Watch your.
Move out of the way, but we've been too late to do it all week.
Watch your head.
And then we get to the last day, and again, I don't even think I filmed anything. I was just kind of over it at that point. The passes were maybe a little bit better because I had the new, you know, the plugs I had the new plugs and the different carburetor, but still, it's just so slow. So the racing, big fail. The trip, even though we had a few small issues, 1,300 miles that thing went. I had never driven it further than 10 miles before we left. Basically, I mean, not without a hitch. Like I said, we had a few small issues, but I never had to get rescued other than willing a stick to plug a vacuum leak and then it not running great. And we changed some plugs at one point. I never got towed or rescued, or it never left me stranded. Started right up every time. And that has continued since race week. I've been driving this thing. The wife and I went for a weekend journey to some little town, and look at there, we got ourselves a first place trophy from a car show, old settlers days. The people love the Baremetal. I did the Bozeman Main Street car show. I did the old Settlers Day car show, and I talked to people, and I don't know how many people said they just love the Baremetal. And I was like, I'm trying to figure out what color I should paint it. Should I paint it? And everybody said I would leave it just like this. I think one person told me to paint it. So that person obviously doesn't know anything. So it's probably going to stay like this. Maybe you guys already known that, but Anyways, that's Big Sky Race Week. I'll tell you what's coming next. So since I've been doing nothing but working for the last 5 months, there's the one little benefit of that. I mean, there's good, everybody's got to work, right? I mean, I got a roof over my head, I got food on my plate, so can't complain about that. But I've been working a little extra, putting a little extra time in. And so I might have stacked a little bit of cash, and I think we have a month and a half before registration for Big Sky Race Week next year. And one thing's for sure, this car is not going anywhere near a drag strip until it has more power in it. So stay tuned, because I think I'm gonna find a way to put more power in this thing. And I have some ideas and I have some options. I gotta pull the trigger and decide if that's what I wanna do. My theory originally was get this thing running and not spend any more money on it, and we'll start working on my Chevelle, or a little more work on the 57 over there. But I don't know. I need more power, right? You guys agree? Everybody agree that I need more power? And leave a comment so my wife knows also that I need more power. And we'll make some more power happen, and then we'll try to go racing again. And hopefully we can have success on the road and success on the track, instead of failure on the track and success only on the road. So anyways, thanks for sticking around. If you stayed here and watched all my rambling and my little bit of footage from the race week, hopefully we'll be back here a little more often. Stick around, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And oh, there's some YouTube comments right there. Thanks, guys. And maybe we can make some more progress out here in the shop and some more videos, and we'll have some fun together. So see you on the next one, huh?